All right, so I'm going to be doing a review of episode 2 of It. Welcome to Derry. Um, like I said, the first episode. In my review of the first episode, I basically talked about how I really did feel like, for the most part, there was this genuine feel that it felt too much like Stranger Things. And I know some people were like, "Oh, but Stranger Things was really inspired by, Stephen King. So really, you're just kind of commenting on what we already know." I'm aware. I am aware that I'm very well aware that Stephen King inspired Stranger Things. But that does not mean a show based around Stephen King has to base itself or feel like it bases itself around certain elements of Stranger Things. You don't have to make yourself feel like the thing that was inspired by yourself. It's like an Ouroboros of creativity. Suck! See what I'm saying? Anyway. But what did I think of episode 2? First off, holy God. I didn't realize this episode was like an hour and over an hour long. I wasn't aware. I knew these episodes were going to be long, but I didn't think some of them would be movie length, which does make me wonder if the next episode, one of these episodes, especially the season 1 finale, is going to be an hour 40 minutes. I wouldn't be shocked of that. But we do pick up where we left off, and we do talk about the police are trying to pin, oh God, why do I keep forgetting her name? The one girl's father on the murders on what we thought was the original Losers Club. And here we get the makings of a new Losers Club, or, cannon fodder. I will say, though, I did forget to mention that Major Hanlon is the grandfather of Ben Hanlon, who is one of the losers. So we do know he lives, but we do see his son and the other girl. Why am I forgetting her name? Those two look like they're going to hook up, and I immediately went, "Oh, that's cute." Oh, they're going to die in a fire. Oh. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, they're connecting. That's really cute." And then I immediately had that thought of, "Oh no, I know what happens to them if they're Ben's parents. Crap." That sucks. But again, and also the other thing I forgot to mention was the one kid who died, the one Jewish kid who got ripped in half in the theater. That's Richie's uncle who went missing. I completely forgot about that. So there are little tidbits here and there that just make you go, "Oh, look at that thing." So, and I do appreciate when they do make references to some things in the It or Stephen King franchise, especially when it's a little more subtle. Although I don't think subtlety is going to be around much longer, because we do know the Shawshank prison is going to be mentioned. Halloran is a character in this universe, and I guarantee you we're probably going to get some other Juniper Hill. In fact, Juniper Hill is also a thing from the franchise. Like I said, that was a psychiatric ward that had been seen in Henry Bowers was in that psychiatric ward. Also, I believe Juniper Hill was mentioned in The Stand, if I'm not mistaken. I wouldn't be shocked at this point if we got a mention of Ludlow or Jerusalem's Lot. Would you be shocked? No, I'm honest question. Would you be shocked if we had they're looking at a map and, oh look, Ludlow, Maine, or Jerusalem's Lot? Just call it Salem's Lot. Hell, I'm even expecting, if you really want to be nasty about this, you could just have Richard Straker show up. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know why I'm getting angry about this. Anyway, this episode is more establishment than anything else. After the whole thing, we are now, going further into this universe. We're seeing more of what will happen. And I gotta say, the Pennywise scares here are kind of predictable. They really do feel. Well, one was pretty unique, involving the Lily Hamlin one got ruined in the trailer, so we knew that was coming. In fact, even the build-up, I was just kind of like, all right, okay, you can get to it now. Because you did so much obvious build-up rather than be subtle about it, you kind of ruin the whole thing. And even like the gross out horror of it all, I was kind of the mindset of this doesn't feel warranted at all. The other scare though involving the one girl's mom, that was really interesting and also really gross. Can the Muschiettis actually? I'm gonna talk directly to Andy Muschietti real quick. Hey Andy, come here. I'm gonna need you to stop doing weird shit, okay? Because like that whole thing of like the demon mouth vagina mom thing, that's twice in a row. By the way, we've had giving birth and unbirthing things in a row. And I don't know if that's like your weird fetish there, Mr. Muschietti. Far be it from me, I'm not in show business. But like to do it to do birthing scares back to back is a little like, that's a little too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I will say there are some good things. I do like anything to do with the Hanlons, especially when we find out that Major Hanlon himself, he has a brain injury that allows him, he's not afraid of anything, which I don't know if that's a thing, but he's vital in capturing Pennywise to stop the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's the plan. Like they didn't even bother waiting around. They waited until second episode to be like, all right, so here's the deal. We want to find the beacons that hold in Pennywise, so he can so he can fight the Russians and stop the Cuban Missile Crisis before it happens. What? What? I mean, I know this is before the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, I know date-wise this is before the Cuban Missile Crisis. But to directly reference it, how did they even know about... I want to know how the military, like, came up with the idea of, like, learning about the entity that is Pennywise so they could go dig... I'm always curious about that. Like, who in the Pentagon, during the Kennedy administration, went, hey, so I got an idea how to stop the Russians. There's, like, some eldritch entity... There's some eldritch entity in Maine, and we just got to dig it up. Oh yeah, it takes the form of a clown and eats kids, but it scares people real good, scares them to death, literally. It'll totally work. Why are you guys putting me in a straitjacket? I want to know those, like, it's not just this. It's not just this that does this. I want to know every time we talk about like paranormal like stuff in the military, I want to be in the room, like I want to know that piece of information of like when the military like in these fictional universes, like creating the BPR. Well, the BPRD had made sense because like there was like the whole thing of like, oh, the Nazis were making using the occult and whatnot, so they were fighting fire with fire. But I really want to know, like, in this particular situation where like who came to the top military advisors and even like to McNamara in the Secretary of Defense in Kennedy's cabinet, who came up to them and said, we're going to use an evil child-eating space clown to fight the Russians. I want to know where this started and who got the fucking funding for this. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Also, Lily's fake fucking friend, can she just die? Like, I've known people, I'm sure you have too, of like, you've encountered people like that in your lives, of like fake friends trying to climb the social ladder and whatnot and leave you behind. I just, get that bitch out of here. But she might see the light. No. Nah. Also, there's this weird scene where, like, Maggie, I think her name is, and the other kid, Rich, who's going to be part of this proto losers club. There's this weird moment where, like, he sees, like, the sun shining, the song goes off. It's, like, supposed to be, like, a parody of, like, oh, it's like that moment where you see your true love and whatnot. But it's weird. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Also, at the end, when we find one of the beacons and we see, like, it's a car from the 20s and it's full of dead people, I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be the family that Pennywise modeled himself after in the first scare. So I imagine that family's probably going to play a role in the next season to showcase them all dying and also probably sealing them away. And we get more of the Native American tribe in here. They're like, yeah, you shouldn't be digging up in here. And the owner of the antique shop is basically like, I kind of get the feeling she has the shine because she answers specific questions that are like, she didn't ask that, but she knows with intuition. So I'm kind of thinking maybe that character has the shine as well. Like maybe her and Halloran will encounter each other. But yeah, all in all, this episode was just fine. It's more of like second episodes are more about establishment than anything else. The scares are okay. I don't know what to make of this show yet. Yeah, they had that big finale at the end of the first episode that made me go, holy crap, I want to see more. But now, after the second episode, I'm like, I don't know if I like this or not. So, but God bless them, I'm going to keep watching. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this episode of It Welcome to Derry, the second episode? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.